A team can focus on two things. It can focus on the task at hand, and it can focus on relationships. And for each of these, there are two aspects. There's the content of the task or the relationship, and there's the process by which we manage the task or the relationship. And that gives us 4 quadrants of team leadership. The first quadrant you need to attend to as a team leader is that of task and content, the content of the task, what the team is there to do. This means you need to be very clear about the role of the team, the task it's been set, and how that task splits up into different components. For me, a work breakdown structure is the best way to do that. And from your work breakdown structure, breaking the task into its components, we then allocate elements of the task to individuals. That way, each individual knows their task and what they have to achieve. And for each of those tasks, you should also be setting, as the team leader, a specification for what done looks like, for what good looks like, indeed for what excellent looks like. Because if your team members know the criteria against which you will assess their performance, then they can make a choice to meet those criteria or not. The second quadrant is task and process, the way we deliver the tasks. Now, in some industries, you have a high degree of regulation which says there is only one way to do a given task, and if you don't do it that way, then bad things will happen. Often these are related to health and safety, so we're talking about very bad outcomes if you don't follow the process. However, in most arenas, there is choice about how to carry out a task. And therefore, a good leader will know the extent to which it is appropriate to spell out a preferred way to do something, or to let team members figure out a way for themselves. And the guidance I would give is that the more experience someone has, then the less you should be instructing them about the process. Because there's a good chance they will figure out a better way to do it than you ever did. Because they've got more knowledge, more learning than you have, because they're piggybacking on what you already know and what you've already taught them. They're closer to the task, they can see how things are working, and therefore they can make great choices about the best way to do things. However, the task process quadrant is also about how we go about solving problems and developing skills. So part of your leadership role is to facilitate the process of problem solving and making choices. If your team is stuck because it doesn't have a process, doesn't know how to get something fixed, then that's where you can step in. But the other aspect is how people develop. An important role of a team leader is as a coach, and a coach helps people to figure out things for themselves. If you can ask good questions which direct somebody's awareness appropriately, then they are more likely to be able to figure out for themselves and approach a process by which they can carry out the task you've set them. And of course, if they are able to do that for themselves, then they will firstly be more committed to that approach, but secondly, they will have learned and gained in confidence. The third quadrant is relationships content. That is the content, the structure of the relationships, the hierarchies, the reporting lines, the way that the network of communications interacts. The important thing for you as a team leader is to set up that network to facilitate good collaboration. But once you've done that, that brings us to the fourth quadrant, relationships process, the way that relationships build, develop, grow, and evolve. And all that is about communication. The process of relationship building, the process of relationship maintenance is communication. So here you need to facilitate the team, determining the ways it will communicate amongst itself and the way that the team will communicate with people outside of the team, other stakeholders, other organizations, clients and partners and suppliers. I would say that one of the biggest contributions you can make as a team leader to the process of communication is helping the team to identify the behaviors that it wants to encourage and the behaviors that it will discourage. The ground rules, if you like, the rules of the road. This is about setting a communication and indeed a wider culture for the team. Crucially, the vital part of setting up a team to communicate well is an atmosphere of respect where everyone feels confident that they can say what they really think about the task at hand, but that they can do it in a way that isn't going to offend individuals. It is just going to challenge processes and choices. So, a great way to think about team leadership is as a series of roles relating to the intersections between tasks and relationships on the one side and the content and the processes of those tasks and relationships on the other. If you can attend to all 4 quadrants, then there is a good chance that you will be discharging your team leadership responsibilities effectively. Please do give us a thumbs up if you like this video. There's loads more great management courses content to come, so please do subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.